I genuinely believe with every fiber of my being that AI is the greatest, most transformational thing that has ever happened in our lifetimes. I'm 25 years old and I cannot remember a time other than the rise of the online money space that was as insane as what we are about to come into with AI. Now, the good news is you're early. You're fairly early, even with OpenAI and ChatGPT and all of these SaaS tools rising in the market. But the bad news is this market will evolve faster than anything that we have ever seen. So if you're used to watching the online space and you've seen the rise of info, the rise of digital products, the rise of people running info and doing all these things for people, AI is only going to go faster. So in this video, I want to lay out for you guys in detail, step by step here on my iPad, exactly how I would craft an AI offer, how I would sell an AI offer, and really think about building a business with AI at the forefront. So first things first, I think there are three main ways to make money with AI right now. So number one is you have AI freelancer. Okay, what is that? That is you're on Upwork getting recruited for people. You're doing like minor jobs. So things like innate automations or AI automation or just like minor tasks. You're a freelancer. It's not some glorified thing. You don't really have a business. You're working for people. But if you're somebody that is trying to be an appointment setter or something that's entry level, this is something that you could do instead. And I think honestly make more money. And it might be a better option for a lot of you. Now, number two is really what we're going to be talking about in this video, which is becoming an AI operator, for a lack of better words, okay? This is basically like the growth partner thing, IPO, if you've watched our videos in the past. This is running businesses, scaling other businesses, building your own business, kind of like an agency model, but different, and using AI, again, to do all of the work and all the delivery. And then number three, which I don't recommend, is what I'm currently doing, which is AI SaaS. Software is very hard, okay? I'm telling you from experience, it's very difficult. It takes a lot of money and it's more of an advanced thing. Now, can you make more money than these two? Yeah, absolutely. Kendo is already worth 7 figures at minimum, if not more, in 6 months of work. But it's hard. It's burnt a lot of cash of mine. And so what I'm going to recommend you guys do is if you're a complete beginner, I want you to become what is called an AI freelancer. If you're a bit more experienced, you've already made 10K, you've already made some money, I want you to do what we call AI operating, okay? So let's break this down and let's actually get into this video. So the first thing I want you guys to think about is, what are you good at, or what do you like, or what do you have an advantage? The problem with people getting into business, and I've been guilty of this myself, is they come into these things and they kind of just see someone doing something like, I'm going to do that. Okay, if you're a very technical person, you should probably do something technical and sophisticated and like really lean into your strengths. Versus if you're a good marketer or you're a good speaker or you're good at sales, maybe you should do something on that side of things. I'll show you a sneak peek here. Like, these are all services and offerings that you could do because these are core business needs, but not all of those will fit your strengths and your weaknesses. So I want to do this little exercise with you, like live on this video. What are you curious about, especially as it pertains to AI? I genuinely, myself, as an example, I'm very curious about AI. I'm very interested in it. I can talk about it all day and I'm not really getting burnt out. I'm not tired. I love working on Kendo and doing things like that. So I am actually curious in AI itself as like an application. Right? What track record do you have or do I have, right? If I answer this for myself, obviously I've scaled up an info company to about $7-8 million. I've done launches for other offers that I managed where we did $4 million in like 5 days. I built a software company 2 times at this point to multi-7 figures valuation. So I have a track record in those things. I built a big brand online, whatever. I want you to do this. I'm using myself as an example for yourself. Like, what track record do you have? If nothing, that's fine. Everyone starts somewhere. And then what experience do you have? Like, what have you actually experienced and learned the hard way? Like, maybe it's marketing stuff, maybe it's sales, maybe it's systems, maybe it's sales process, maybe you've only been a sales rep so far. Answer that as well. And then finally, what are you good at? Like, what are you good at more so than everything else? And obviously this has to pertain and fall within the realms of business. Like, we're not playing piano or something here. But I want you guys to really fill this out and honestly feel free to screenshot this. What are you good at? What track record do you have? What experience do you have? And what are you curious about? Now, let's take those and apply it to these core business needs. Business as a service should be very simple, even software. So everything that I'm going to tell you guys on this channel in these new series of AI videos, you might ask yourself like, oh, you're doing software. It's the same thing. I'm picking a niche. I'm picking the experience that I have, which is sales, training salespeople, building sales teams. I know the problems that niche and that I myself had, and I built a software to do the service for me and fulfill and fix this problem for these people. This service-based business is no different in what you guys should be doing. So if we take a look here, depending on what you said your strengths are, We have creative, we have automation, marketing, and sales. These are the 4 biggest parts of current online businesses. Now, this doesn't need to be just info. We have a student inside of Insiders that is literally, he made 20 grand yesterday up front selling AI, sort of like context profile systems. He's very technical, to government contracting agencies, okay? It doesn't need to be just info. But let's take a look at this and go through these. So in the creative sense, if you are a creative, design, ads in the sense of like the visual part of ads, websites and funnels, video content. I actually sold websites and funnels. That's the first thing I ever sold when I got into business. And it made me like 6 figures. That was what I was doing back in the day before you guys knew me. I was selling funnels, webinar build outs, websites, Shopify sites before I even knew about info. So if you're good at that, you can sell these things. And the best part is you can do all of it with AI. Automation. Now, this isn't building an AI automation agency because that's sort of a commodity, because I can one-shot any automation on N8N. And so if I can do that and another business owner can do that, why would they pay you? But what they will pay you for is if you sell it based on an outcome. So if you sell time savings, cost savings, efficiency, workflows, or you're really good at tools like N8N, and you can kind of do that for people because they're not technical enough to figure it out themselves. Next, we have marketing. Now, what falls within marketing? Funnels, VSLs, sales assets, pre-call, post-call stuff, the proper funnel that can take a lead or cold traffic or even warm traffic through a buying process to either book a call or buy a product. It's a very valuable skill to have. Copywriting. I don't sell a copywriting course, but guys, I have been writing copy for like 5 years at this point. That was one of the first things I ever learned about was reading all of these copywriting books, like back 5 years ago. And now I've written all my VSLs. So like every VSL that you've ever seen from me, from Closer Cartel, IPO, even for our other clients, I've written a lot of these by hand. Now I'm writing all of them with AI, and it's probably better than what they used to be. Ads. So you can obviously write the visual, like the script part of the ad. So there's the creative part of the ad, and there's the script. Traffic. This is advertising. This is running paid ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, TikTok. It doesn't matter. Are you good at generating traffic? And then webinars. Webinars are just a sales system in itself. There's kind of a combination of all these things that go into a webinar. There's a lot of automation, a lot of sales assets, a lot of copywriting, and a lot of just marketing knowledge that goes into that as well. Then we get into sales. This is where I've made my living in the last couple of years. So sales staffing, hiring setters and closers, staffing them for people. Sales management, managing sales teams, okay? Sales process, again, kind of like the marketing, because sales and marketing are, at the end of the day, they're the same. But taking a lead to booking a call to closing a deal, that whole process, and like optimizing show rates, optimizing close rates. Like, how do you do that? Well, if you get really good at it, you can make a shit ton of money. CRMs, complex to build, very helpful assets for a business to have, okay? My COO, the head coach inside of our program, Luke Ward, he has sold CRM build outs and tech build outs for like 40 grand setup fees, okay? So again, another very expensive thing that you can sell. Sales funnels and sales assets, like pre-call assets, and this falls into a broad range, but like VSLs, thank you videos, warm-up videos, things like that. So what you guys need to do is take the stuff that we just got from right here and basically take a look at all of these and decide for yourself what makes the most sense for me to pursue. And that is what you're going to offer. That is your service offering. Now, let's talk about that. When you really define your offer, everyone does this wrong as well. It's very simple. You answer these 4 questions, okay? So who are you helping and why? So if you have sales experience, you were a closer, maybe you help people with sales. So who needs help with sales? Fucking everybody, but get specific, okay? And I help info people. And don't say the Hormozy thing of like, oh, I help do XYZ. It's played out, it's not gonna work. This is for your own internal brain to say like, who are you helping? Not like your offer statement. What are you doing for them? Okay, this is what we just did in the last step. How expensive is this problem? This is how you kind of get into pricing and understanding how to price your services and how to sell them and really how to sell based upon value and ROI. And then finally, how will I fulfill the work and get results? Now, this is the easiest part because this is, and it should be done with AI, okay? AI can do absolutely everything that I just showed you. There's a reason that these were the things I listed. All of those, other than staffing, which is a human element right now, all those can be done with AI. All of it. So if I were to fill out this exercise, I would say I'm helping info product owners. I am hiring sales reps, managing sales teams and processes, helping build marketing assets like VSLs, and helping them make more money with these things. So that's what I would personally do. How expensive is this problem? Hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars a year. Therefore, I can charge a lot for this. And how will I fulfill the work and get results? I know where to source sales reps. I know, or someone on my team can manage them. And I can use AI to track data, build out systems, and write all the copy and marketing assets. So now, this is what I want you to understand, the point of this video. I've gone from, I would like to start an AI service-based business, to I know exactly what I'm doing. It's really not complicated. It's not rocket science. So let's get a little bit deeper here. How do you sell this? Well, selling AI, and I'm even encountering this right now. I'm running a webinar funnel for Kendo, and I'm seeing if I put AI in the front of like the copy of the headline, I think I'm actually getting worse results because it's become such a buzzword and such a like a slop-filled thing that people don't care that it's done with AI. They just care about the result. And this is where everyone is like messing up right now that I see in like this AI coaching space. And so like, oh, you sell AI receptionists, you sell AI this, you sell AI. No one cares. All they care about is better results, faster delivery, lower cost, time savings, money, improvements, efficiency increase. That's all they care about. So sell the outcome, not the tool. So you should sell leads, sales, efficiency, savings, like I just said, not AI. AI is the engine that powers your vehicle. Your vehicle is sold as a vehicle. It's like if you went to a Ferrari dealer, obviously you care about the Ferrari engine because it's cool, but like imagine you didn't know anything about cars. You go to the dealer, you're like, I want a Ferrari. And they're like, yeah, this has this engine and it has this many cylinders and this many valves and it's built with this metal and this alloy and this block. You're like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. That's how business owners feel when you try to sell them all this AI stuff. They have no freaking idea. So start with their pain points, okay? Identify what's broken, time wasted, low meetings, inconsistent output, and position your solution as the fix. If I am an info product owner, I do content. Like I'm just the marketing guy. Like I just do the content, I'm the face. My show up rate sucks. My close rate isn't good. We're churning a lot of sales reps. We're not closing as much as we should. That's a massively painful problem. I can do a lot of that work with AI now if I'm the service provider, aka you watching this, but I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm gonna do AI sales management for you. I'm just gonna say, hey, I will fix your show up rate, fix your close rate, and manage all your sales team for you for X% per month. That's an offer. That's a good offer. Number 4, anchor to ROI. So what if this cut your labor cost by 40%? Or what if we manage your entire process? Or what if I increase your show up rate by 20%? It's ROI based. It's not nice to have. It's not a commodity, which is the problem with all this AI automation stuff is it's a commodity. You want to be irreplaceable. You want to sell something that fixes such a massive problem that people were like, oh, I will totally give you 20 grand for that. You know, like last year when we sold this, I literally did this launch just to prove to you guys that like I could do it from scratch. We did $4.5 million in like 5 days. I charged the guy 25 grand setup fee the second day we met when I was talking with him to like close this deal. Obviously, like it's because we were doing a lot of work. We had to hire all these salespeople and stuff. But like 25 grand setup is pretty awesome, you know? And then we were on a percentage. So it was 25K setup. And then it was a percentage of upside. And that's what I recommend you guys do as well. Number 5, real offers powered by AI. Sell real things. Like I said, not AI automation, not AI receptionists. Like when's the last time you ever needed a receptionist? You haven't, okay? It's not a good offer. Sell funnels, reporting, admin tasks, sales calls, content, all done fast with AI as the invisible helper. AI is your tool, not their tool. If they knew what you know, they wouldn't pay you. They would just do it with AI because it's so easy. So you need to kind of keep your cards to your chest and sell outcomes, but then do the work with AI so that you're more efficient, you're more profitable, and you can do more work and you do better work. This is the whole game that I want you guys to understand. And again, like I just said, keep the tech invisible. So avoid jargon like GPT, AI, OpenAI, automation. Like don't worry about any of this, okay? Use terms like response system, sales process, management. Like use normal business language. And again, do the work with AI, not the other way around. So as far as pricing, this is how I believe pricing should be done. You have a couple options, okay? So you have, let's get the magic money line here. You have one-time setups. So this is if I build out a system for you. So like a CRM, I could probably charge 2 to 10K or more. Monthly retainer. So why would I justify monthly retainers if I'm ongoingly doing something for you? So let's say I'm upkeeping a system or I'm up managing something that is ongoing and actually makes sense. Or I'm constantly writing emails for you and I'm not on a performance basis, which you could be, that's a retainer. Revenue share. This is where the big money comes in, which will be, this is the math equation, basically. This is what I want to show you guys, okay? This is how you need to think about business. This is not a traditional agency. This is you building a real partnership with a business and getting paid for producing partner-like results. So you have more responsibility, but you also get paid more. So imagine I have a business doing $100,000 a month. They have a 20% show up rate. They have a 30% close rate. And then we'll just leave it at that for easy examples. If I double both of these numbers, which is really like still within KPI, like a 40% show rate is not like insane. 40% show rate, 30% close rate. Let's say we don't double that to 60. Let's be conservative. Let's say it goes up 10%. So that's 40% as well. Now let's do the math. If we're selling a 5K offer and we're doing $100,000 a month. That means we're selling 20 units a month of that offer or whatever this is. So if we double show up rate and our close rate was 30%, and I'm just going to try to do this math in my head because I suck at math. So that means basically if we're closing 20 and we are closing 30%, that means we had 60 actual calls. If 20% showed up of 60 booked calls, then we ended up actually probably having around, 200 booked calls, I think is the math. Now, let's do this. So it was 20 units. So we have 200 booked calls. So now instead of only 20% of them showing up, or whatever this math ends up being, instead of that, we are now at 40%. So let's say almost half of these. So I don't know, let's just say 90. So we have 90 calls show up now. And now instead of closing 30%, we close 40%. By the way, I'm giving you math, but like what actually do you do to fix this? This would literally be pre and post call assets, maybe a better CRM, maybe better salespeople, better management, a better VSL, and then actually doing proper sales. Like if you literally just do those things, this happens like science. It's literally a scientific method. It's not magic. I've seen this happen like a bazillion times. So 200 calls, 90 calls. So 90 calls, 40%, again, half of this would be 45. So now instead of 20 units, we sell 35 units. And my math is probably off a little bit. I'm just averaging. So 35 times 5 would be 175K. By fixing these few things, just for example for you guys, now this business is doing $175,000. If I took a percentage of that upside, we almost basically doubled the business, 100 to 175. You're almost at 200K. You probably, my math is probably off a little bit. You're basically at 200K. If I were to take 20% of that, I just made that in profit from fixing these things. Now, I've seen this happen 1,000 times. Like I've done this myself. My brother does this for people. My friends do this for people. My students do this for people. Like this happens every day. And this is just one example of a service that you can offer, obviously. But like that's the math on a rev share. You also have hybrid setups, which is what I mentioned, which would be, hey, I'm gonna charge you 10K and then I'm gonna do this setup and the rev share. Now, the point of pricing, very important, is you want the client to keep paying each month. You need to make sure that they're getting at least a 4X on their investment. That's like just a rule of thumb number. It doesn't have to be like entirely accurate. But if I'm giving you $1 and I'm getting $4 back, I will always give you that $1. Now, if I give you $1 and I start to get like $1.5 back, I'm gonna start to question things, right? Because I have taxes, I'm the business owner, I pay all expenses at the end of the day. So you wanna always try to obviously aim as best as you can, but as a rule of thumb, 4X. So how do you charge? Well, you're rewarded for ongoing upside. So managing a sales team is a percentage share, not a retainer, because you're consistently doing it and there's performance-based. And you can charge whatever you can get someone to agree to. So the rule for pricing, you can charge as much as you want. Now, what I recommend is make sure they get a good investment. So if I'm going to do, for example, like sales management stuff, I'm going to charge probably a setup fee, 5 to 10K, maybe more, depending on the size of the business. And I'm going to take 10 to 20% of revenue. Now, if I actually did this example of this math, and so let's say I'm actually taking 20% or whatever, and I'm just gonna use 200 as a round number. So what am I making, 40K? They're spending 40K with me to make back 200. That is following our 4X rule. That's a good ROI. They're gonna consistently pay you that as long as you can continue to do that. That's the mindset of it, okay? So AI is the most insane thing ever, but you gotta make sure you're doing it the right way, and you gotta make sure you're selling it the right way. And this is how I would sell it. That's how I do sell it. This is how we frame Kendo. It's just software. This is a service. It's only different. So yeah, I hope that helps. And I'll see you guys on the next video.